everyone, it's Michelle from All-in-One Life Coaching, and we have a question.
When the mood is always negative and you're sharing a life with someone and you're always working to be positive, how can you both sustain that together as a couple?
Well, the long answer is you can't, right? Because in any type of relationship, just like a car battery, you can't put a positive cable on a negative post. That thing is going to bite and spit at you. And just like in our human experience, we can't maintain those relationships forever, simply because you're always moving on to more. And the person in the positive end of the stick will attract positive things. The person on the negative end of the stick is attracting negative things. I had mentioned this earlier to someone that one of the decisions my husband and I made in our household was we were never going to be below the line together. What that meant is we acknowledged that we were going to have bad days from time to time, and we weren't going to feel good, and something would happen that would cause us to be outside of satisfied. But the decision to not look at the other and the decision for the other not to come there was critical, because if two people, if one person's in a negative state and the positive person comes, well, just even think about that logically. It doesn't make sense, because now you went from a feel good energy state to a negative. So it just didn't serve you at all. But it's a little tricky, because if we are the ones noticing the negative energy state, then we're close to it too, right? So it's kind of, again, that sort of decision that if we're noticing what someone else is up to, we're playing in the vicinity. So then I would say first, let's stop looking at them for a minute and see first, is there anything that's going on within me or maybe in my life experience alone that I might be focusing on a little bit more of and might be reflecting onto someone else? Now, not saying that somebody who's sitting at home and on the sofa and, may not be cleaning the house and stuff won't be annoying. Of course, that might be a bit annoying, right? But again, we kind of have to go back to why are they doing what they're doing? And when we can understand that if they're not feeling good, that it makes sense for them not to, say, get up off the couch and maybe go job hunting, it's almost a good thing, because if they did go job hunting from that state, number one, it wouldn't work out, which would give them proof they should have stayed home in the first place and give them an excuse to go back there. So again, it's just really about, if we notice somebody else there, us doing whatever we can to not join them, and while understanding that we can promote well-being, but we have to be it. Preferably they'll come, but if they don't, this is a law of attraction-based universe. So I had a conversation with someone not long ago about almost a similar thing, where this person would like to reconnect with somebody from the past and is wondering why, as a result of them doing everything right, why this one's not coming. If we can just sort of forget about who's attached to that sort of energy that's coming to the table, the awareness that's coming to the table, the one who speaks, if we can just sort of separate that for a minute by saying, I don't really care what they look like. I want them to be kind and fun-loving and free-spirited, and I would like compassion and trustworthiness and confidence and all of those things. If the human would be willing to focus on what the energy would look like, then the human that would be attached to that energy is going to come into your life experience. And it's either going to come by the partner that you're with, or it'll be someone new. But either way, when we're attracting, we want to be attracting from that good feeling place. So for those of us who might be living in relationships where it's pretty wobbly right now, and we have one party maintaining positive for the most part and one party maybe spending too much time in the negative, you have to be willing to maintain the positive. You do. And the longer you maintain it, they're either going to come or they're going to go somewhere else. But in the bigger, broader picture, you kind of have to ask yourself, what is the best possible outcome for you both anyway? To have one party living in misery and one happy-go-lucky, because it's not going to be comfortable for the one living in misery. They're not going to understand why you're so happy, and the one so happy doesn't understand why you're so sad, right? But when you understand that the laws of the universe are always delivering to us memories and incidences from where we are, if we're playing around in laziness, for example, we open ourselves up to all those other negative things thought by you and others. So every negative thought, every negative word ever spoken, we now have access to remember, to create, to play the what if game with. And the humans that play the what if game from primarily that negative state, because for whatever reason we choose not to play the what if game from the positive end of the stick, which would be the recommendation. If you're going to play the what if game, make up the good stuff. Number one, it feels better. And number two, it's easier to no longer be lazy. It's easier to have something to look forward to. It's easier to get off the couch. It's easier to feel better. So a couple of things. Not asking and needing somebody else to change their behavior is paramount for us to be able to ask a question. What's going on within me that I'm noticing what they're doing? And it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It could very well be for your expansion alone. You're having a real true awareness. I want to live with somebody who gets off the couch. There's just nothing wrong in that. Doesn't mean that person is wrong or flawed or bad or has done something terrible. It just means you're in two different places. And when we stop expecting things to come together from two different places, then it just makes life a little easier. We again can maybe look at them a bit differently. And when we make those decisions to do that, we actually give them a bit of freedom. Right? Because for a lot of people who are in those emotional states, they feel guilty. They feel blameful. They feel like they're doing something wrong. They feel like they're not contributing. And you can just feel the energy in that just kind of tank. And again, when humans are having those thoughts and then having the emotional connection that comes with it, it's difficult for us to sit back and watch them do that. We know they can feel better, but coming at them kind of with that, we know you can feel better, just defeats the purpose, because when we're down there, we don't want to hear it. We just don't. But arbitrarily turning on a comedy show for the heck of it, not a bad idea. I've discovered dry bar comedy. Everybody should try it. It's hilarious. Right? Watch actually a little bit of it every day, simply for that purpose of, I'm not even going to remotely risk going down the rabbit hole. I'm having a great day. I'm going to keep this momentum going. Let's roll on some comedy. But those are decisions the human has to make. And when you do that, your life changes. Your environment changes. They either come to you or someone else does. And I'm telling you, 99.999% of the time, it's with the one you're already with. No changes need to be made. No big divorces are happening. No big things are happening. It's just the willingness of two people to do whatever they can to feel better. And when two parties make that decision, it's beautiful. When one party makes the decision, it's beautiful. Because the only thing that matters really in your life experience is about how you're doing, how you're contributing. And when it's about the bigger picture, the greater good, everything all inclusive, the all that is, then don't we always just want to come at it from our best? Yeah, helps us feel better too. So let's give everyone a break who's not feeling good. Let's do what we can to maintain ourselves in a positive place, and I promise they'll come. Thanks, everyone.